Welcome in Lambaland. Today with Grizwald Grim from Grizwald Grim YouTube channel. We are analyzing a special song by Gogol Bordello, Wonderlust King.
Wanderlust King. Why would you like to analyze this song?
Because today is Eugene Hütz's birthday, 6th of September. Happy birthday, Eugene.
Happy birthday, Eugene.
Yeah.
We thought we'd analyze this brilliant song you did called Wanderlust King.
It had been my favorite song for more than 10 years. I love it. Thank you, Eugene.
Let's see if we can figure out why. Back in the day, as we learned, a man was not considered to be fully grown. Has he not gone beyond the hills? Has he not crossed the 7 seas? Yeah, 7 at least.
Yeah.
What does that stand to speak to you?
I think it's about human life. Back in the day, human life was not valued, even though people used to travel and do absolutely unimaginable things for today's kind of man. I actually understand that. Eugene refers to also gypsy culture a lot. And it's weird how they go through all this traveling, relocating, moving, changing their worlds, let's say, and still their life isn't valued. So yeah, that's the projection I make.
I like that he's complaining that like what men used to be they aren't anymore. Like he's observing the reality that we've found that as our societal and technological progress makes life easier, we get softer. And he's shouting it out that something has been lost.
Now all them jokers kept around like the scarecrows in hometown. Yeah, scarecrows in hometown. From screen to screen, they're traveling. But I'm a wanderlust king.
No one hurts. No one hurts. Like all you're doing is keeping people off the crops and doing all your traveling by watching the screen. And look at me, I'm out here jamming with the folks, actually moving around. Like I'm bringing the camera to feed you the screens of different places because he's the king.
Yeah, but it is inspirational. Like I want to do that. Each time each time I hear the song, I was like, I get in line with that.
Mm-hmm. I stay out on the run. Let me out. Let me be gone. In the world's beat up road sign, I saw a new history of time. A new history of time. That's interesting. I mean, that's the first thing in the song he's bringing in that's like one of the benefits of living the way he has is that he's seen something in the world's beat up road sign. He's seen something that none of us that haven't have seen it, and it's whatever a new history of time is. He's onto it, and I'm not quite sure. What do you make of it?
I keep being hung on the line, I stay on the run. Let me out. It sounds like projection. Like traveling is illegal in a sense. Crossing borders is really, really difficult. Expired visas, big problem. And I get it somehow. So he's in Canada, but visa has expired. I stay on the run, I hide. And
Ah.
that's the criticism of borders for me in here already start. Let me be gone. Sometimes you cannot cross the border. Even if you want to, you have to stay because, you know, documents and visas and everything. And I had been traveling in my life quite a lot. I know what it's like to stay in a special queue for non-Europeans. There is a thing. There is a queue for European Union people and for non-European Union people. Way different. There is already segregation at the airport. That's what it brings to me. The pain of traveling.
Or the pain of not being able to.
Exactly. Because all those borders are imaginary in a sense. Like,
Well, I think everybody can identify now with what it's like to be locked up and not able to travel.
yeah.
So that he's been able to kind of makes him the king.
I'm pretty sure he has seen every continent. Eugene, I would love you to come in on my show and tell me if you have seen every continent and what it's like down there in Australia.
And if not, you can just leave a comment. I mean, it's your birthday, you're busy. We understand.
Big fan. What do you think about new history of time?
Well, I think that the one we have is very suspicious and possibly has been altered by the Jesuits. So
Shut out Jesuits.
shut up. I think maybe like you can come on to understanding a different understanding of what's really going on in the world from traveling and talking to the locals, and that his history is coming from word of mouth from people he's actually talked to, not what the screens tell people. And so maybe that new history is worth knowing and sharing, or at least knowing. But having not experienced it, I can only guess.
I have a friend. She is half Lithuanian, half South Ossetian. And South Ossetian people had been like killed, wiped out from the face of the earth. And a couple years ago, she decided she will go and look for her ancestors. And the travel would take her crossing like at least 7 borders. She would have to pay with aspirin for a ride on a mule because they would not accept like currency that she had. So she would have to look for whatever people accepted, and she had like aspirin and then they would on a mule, they would bring her to the village because there were no road and the village was deserted. She said this was the defining moment in her life. Going on a mule to see a place of her ancestors was a thing that made her feel alive, in a sense. So I think it's very important to travel. Like
I can see how like something like that would connect someone to humanity and time, and like a felt way let them feel like part of human history. That's an amazing journey.
yeah. Through Siberian woods, breaking up their neck. Chinese moving in, building discotheques. What? I don't
Well,
get it.
the first half is unclear to me. Through the Siberian woods, breaking up their neck. Maybe that's the Chinese moving in. The Chinese are apparently building discoteques in the woods in Siberia. And this is a thing that you might not believe happens unless you're the type of gypsy king that has seen it with their own eyes.
Oh. Well, thank you, Eugene, for informing us. And shout out.
Fascinating,
Yeah,
really.
I am totally in for seeing Chinese discotheque.
I am not. I am vehemently opposed to Chinese discotheques. I think there's much better things for the Siberian woods, like go and see an aurora borealis and stuff. We don't need your discotheques, but now we know they're there.
Hashtag social issues.
Maybe this is the origin of such things as Trans-Siberian sex toys and whatnot. Yeah, and why not? At least it's something different from what they got in every other airport. Trans-Siberian sex toys, apparently. There's a lot going on in Siberia that I was not aware of, from Chinese discotheques to sex toys in the airports, I guess.
I have nothing to relate to that subject. No projections whatsoever.
But it's a groovy song, right? That's the
Yeah,
important. Thanks, Eugene.
thanks.
Nah, I have mixed feelings about Siberia now.
Well, at least it's something different than what they got from every other airport. I think here he might be criticizing the fact that we do have borders, but every other airport is actually the same. They have the same duty-free section, the same kind of signs, all of it. So he does say he has seen history happen right in front of him. He knows secrets, but it's interesting that every other airport is still the same.
That speaks to the monoculture. Like there's a little tiff between the West and some other places right now, but mainly the West is what's all over the globe, and that means the same airports with different languages on the signs. And
Do you
does,
think it's Grim?
hmm,
Do you think it's good though that every airport is kind of the same?
airport maybe because that kind of has to be global. Everybody, it's really good that if you know how to do it in one place, you know how to do it
Mhm.
everywhere. So that airports are good, but like once you're out of the airport, I think places should be very different.
Okay, borders. We need borders. It's like our skin. Like on one side, we need borders to maintain our culture. We need borders to, keep our identity. On the other side, we are already a global world, and having borders stops our progress in a sense. That's what I see, because people put a lot of resources, finances into maintaining those borders, where it could have been used differently.
I don't know. I would prefer it if I could live in a place where there's rules that like this is what happens here. We don't do these things that you can go other places for that. This is the way we live here. And
Oh,
then that way people can decide where they want to live. I think people should be allowed to travel to where they want to live, but I think the different places should be living the way they live there. And it shouldn't be let's all live the same everywhere. Because it's the same as being nowhere.
Yeah, I see respect for other cultures in here. So it entails both respect for another culture plus respect for freedom of individual. Basically, if you maintain borders and the way of living and traditions, then people can choose what fits to them most, and they can travel in between kind of those cultures. But I do believe if it would be possible for everybody to choose what country they live in, and yeah, it might
But
shape up the society differently if there would be no fights for visa, let's say. I think you're on a point here about traveling. If a person individual has the means to travel and wants to travel, the borders should not be closed for that person. Maintaining culture is extremely important as well, but people need to choose individually. That's what I see.
speaking of honoring other cultures, I I can't read this next stanza at all. Could you help?
Я не еврей, но кое-что похоже. Соврать не даст ни Юра, ни Сережа. Simply because я в ноты дунул Катю. Да я шут, я циркач, ну так что же? Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean it.
Let me translate it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a Jew, but something like this. And Yura and Seryozga will confirm it. Simply because I kick Katya by her notes. Well, I'm a gesture. I'm a circus clown. And so what?
Okay. Yeah, I have there's I have, who are Yuri and Seryozga? Yeah,
The guys from his band, actually.
they'll confirm that he's kind of like a Jew because he takes some lady by the nose.
Notes. So this means what he said. I blew her by her notes. And like, I think it's a negative thing. I don't know what it means. I actually don't know. Eugene, please come in and explain it. I have got no idea what it means.
Well, we just dance and smile and move on to the next stanza there. I traveled the world looking for understanding of the times we live in, hunting and gathering first-hand information, challenging definitions of sin. That part sounds fun. The first half of that sounds like a lot of work, and then let's let's play. That sounds very exciting. I don't know that I'm up for it. I'm
Well, there is timing for everything, right?
I don't know. I might never challenge the definitions of sin. That's that's a very brave thing to do.
Looking for understanding. I travel the world looking for understanding. I want people to understand me. I'm this weird person from another culture. Would you understand me, or are you already pre-programmed to see me as a foreigner?
We I take it the other side.
Mhm.
Looking for understanding is like, why is everybody doing what they're doing? Not will you understand me, but like
Oh,
WTF is going on over here. I will hunt and gather firsthand information and try and figure it out because you guys are weird. I'm trying to understand though, so I take it that
challenge.
side. Yeah.
That's a good projection. Like that's interesting. Completely differently read the meaning. I love it. Challenging definitions of sin. Sin. Okay, I basically, as I understood it, he has fun everywhere he goes. Good call, Eugene. Okay, I travel the world looking for lovers of the ultimate beauty, but never settled in because I'm a Wanderlust King.
Mm. That's good. It's like the kin. Like that's my people, is the lovers of ultimate beauty. So I travel the world looking for them. But
Yeah.
I'm not, I can't get settled because the wanderlust is the part. It's the guiding star of the life.
Yeah.
And presidents and billionaires and generals, they'll never know what I have owned. What I have owned. I am a wanderlust king.
But
And
that's
it's
true
true.
though.
Yeah. There's treasures you get on adventure that are only your own.
Nobody will ever understand what it's like to travel the world while you have nothing. Challenging definition of sin. It's a special kind of adventure when you just go into the unknown and you don't have a safety of MasterCard behind it.
Mhm.
That's the feeling. He said hunter and gathering, like at some point. I think he goes to the baseline of what it's like to be adventurer. I have experienced that, and I tell you, that's amazing when you go into another country and you have no money. You have nowhere to go to. You don't know what will happen to you.
And if you survive to tell the story, then it's
Yeah,
amazing.
I survived. I
Uh,
survived, but I know people who did not. So I do have experience of the people who went too far and they are looking from up there. Yeah. What do you project on here?
I think that he treasures not power, not money, not influence, and he's extolling the value of the adventurous life.
100% agree. Power and money doesn't give the same feeling of being alive as traveling the world. And traveling the world with this uncertainty, let's say, that thing, it's boldly going where no man has gone before somehow. Adventure spirit. It's amazing. Thank you, Eugene, for that song.
And happy birthday.
Again. Grim, anything you picked up from that song? Any generalization?
Hmm. I really love I stay on the run, let me be out, let me be gone part. In fact, I want to say it right now and run to my next adventure.
Well, in that case, I'm very grateful for your free time. And everybody, please support Grizwald Grim YouTube channel. I will provide the link below. And thank you for your free time. Bye. Siberian sex toys and what not? Yeah, why not?
Why not? I stay on the run. Let me out, let me be gone. In the world's beat up road sign, I saw a new history of time.
You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There is a secret episode. I can't tell you what number it is. Instructions will follow.